From the studios of KENW on the campus of Eastern New Mexico University, it's You Should Know, featuring the people and events of Eastern New Mexico and West Texas.
With me today is Arthur, or Art, Garcia, and he is the State Director for Community Development, Rural Development for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
That's correct. Thank you, Don.
Now, first of all, what does the Rural Development Department of USDA do here in New Mexico?
Right, that's a fair question. When I first went to work for USDA and I told my family, I'm going to work for USDA, they say, you don't know anything about inspecting meat. And I said, no, I'm in rural development. And so rural development is a unique agency in the federal government in that we do helping build infrastructure, housing, a number of things throughout a community. In fact, we say we can build a community from the ground up. That's kind of been our mantra. Right now, we're involved in a program that kind of really puts a brackets around and defines what our mission is, and that's what we call IPI. And IPI stands for Infrastructure, Partnerships, and Innovation. And that's what we're trying to bring to Roosevelt County and to Portales and to the community, is putting those three things together to make an impact. We call that IPI in action.
Very good. And there's a project that we're going to talk about on this show today that is going on right here in Portales,
right
here in Roosevelt County.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect example of that, isn't it?
Absolutely. We are here today to follow up with the Portales Inn, which many of the people in the community may know. And we were able to combine a couple of our programs within the business program. At USDA Rural Development, we have kind of like a three-legged stool. And one of the legs is housing. The other is community facilities, which we do water and wastewater. And then we have the business program, which we're talking about today. And within that business program, we have a couple of ways of funding things that we call, one is the B&I program, or Business and Industry program, where we work in a partnership with banks. So it's a chance for government and the commercial industry to get together and partner to make an impact. So what we do is we provide guarantees, loan guarantees to the bank in order to fund these particular projects, and that's what we've done in the Portales Inn. The other program that we have within the business programs is called Rural Energy for America program. We call it REAP because it's the federal government, right? So anyway, in the REAP program, we're helping the inn to become more energy efficient, better than it was in terms of we're getting the windows replaced for better energy efficiency, HVAC, a number of things that are helping this hotel to come back and be more efficient, more comfortable, and better for the community.
And we want everyone watching to know that a project like this can be done in any rural town.
Absolutely.
That has less than 50,000 population.
Absolutely.
In New Mexico.
And Don, that's a great point. What is unique about our agency is that our niche is rural America. That's where we live, that's where we work. And what we do is we concentrate on communities in this program, 50,000 or less. We have field offices throughout the country, several throughout the state of New Mexico, where a community can go in, or a business can go in, or an individual can go in and talk to our specialists in these offices and say, this is what I need, this is what's happening with my particular business, and this is what I need. And our specialists are trained to sit down and then fulfill that need, find a solution using our programs to really make it the best fit to make the biggest impact. Yeah.
Okay, and since we're talking business and guaranteed loans with the banks, you have a very good record of
Absolutely.
Collecting what you've loaned out or what you've guaranteed to loan out.
Yeah. People think, well, it's rural America. There's greater risk or whatever. Actually, not. That's not true. With our guarantee program, we have a high degree of success. Very few failures in my 17 years here have I seen where we've had to go back. Mostly it's always been a very successful venture. So rural America, I'm here to say, is a great investment.
And not only is it's going to bring 14 jobs.
Absolutely.
I've read the plan. You're going to bring 14 jobs. But it's not just the 14 jobs. The new building will have meeting areas, a restaurant.
Right.
It'll make life a little better. And that's kind of what the plan is for USDA's rural development.
Right.
You want to make life better for people living.
Right. Improving the quality of life in the community. Jobs is one of the things that we look at. How many jobs are we creating? How many jobs are we saving? And I think we even grade, how we're going to do the project based on jobs. But then have some place where the community can come together, a resource for the community to gather, something for them to utilize to make the quality of life here better.
Very good. And instead of moving the kids all in one bedroom and having the in-laws stay over at this place, we've got more space here on Big Holiday. We do have times, a lot of people from the rest of the state wouldn't believe it, but we have times here in Portales where we have a big crowd that comes to visit us. And we need the space.
Well, been there, done that, and so I certainly appreciate this project. But, we have with us today the experts on this particular program, and maybe we can get you to talk a little bit about more of the intricacies of the program.
I'm very, very excited to talk to them about this, and so we'll do that coming up right now. And now we've been joined by Patricia Navarrette. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, good. And she is a business and industry specialist, and we're glad to have you here. And Mr. Carlos Contreras, and he is the supervisor for Rural Energy for America program, or REAP, for the state of New Mexico for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Correct, yes.
That's
a lot of,
You,
That's a
you
lot.
write your title out.
Yeah,
You've
my
spent
signature
quite a
line
while.
was very long.
Yeah, very, very good. Well, let's start by telling folks what the project is. It's the Best Western Inn Plus in Portales. And Pat, tell me about that project, what's happening with it, and what the finished product is going to be.
Well, we're really happy to have the opportunity to work both with the lender and the owner with this project. It was a hotel. I believe it was called the Portales Inn before. It had been vacant for a while. And it was an old hotel. It needed to be renovated. And we worked with the lender and to utilize our business and industry guaranteed loan program, which we call BNI. It's our BNI program, which provides an 80% guarantee to the lender. It's a loan that's under $5 million, which means that there's 20% risk for the lender in this loan. It's for, under this program, it's for rural areas, and there's a discussion on rural areas, which most of New Mexico is rural areas. There's 33 counties, and most of it is rural. And the great thing about this project is that it utilizes guaranteed loan program, but it also utilizes another guaranteed program, which Carlos can talk about. It's our REAP guaranteed loan program, and it also utilizes the energy efficiency grant program also.
So it's a combination of grant money and guaranteed loan.
Yes, it
money.
is.
Okay. Guaranteed loans, let's talk about banks. What banks do you approach first when you're working on a guaranteed loan? Who do you go to?
Usually the lender comes to us.
Okay.
But if the lender doesn't know about our program, we will go out and do outreach and do a presentation about the guaranteed loan program to all the lenders, to the lenders in the bank. So we like to do that. But they approach us and they say, we have a project. This is something that we're interested in doing. We're interested in your guaranteed loan program, the BNI program. And what it does is our program helps the lender to structure the loan. Now, the lender and the borrower, they negotiate the interest rate, and they negotiate the interest rate. Also, under this program, the term for the loan could be 30 years for real estate. It could be 15 years for equipment, and 7 years for working capital, inventory, and accounts receivable.
So, and that's a very good way to work. It gives you enough time with your capital. Enough
Exactly. Yes. And it's one of the reasons why lenders like this program too, because it's a longer term, and it helps the business owner with their cash flow. It helps it spread out the payments too.
Okay, we talked about banks. Now let's talk about business owners, people that are interested in investing and borrowing some money to get some help and get things built in a community that they might not be really familiar with. How does one approach your office to start talking with you about starting one of these projects?
They can call our office. We can provide a number for them. That's one way of doing that. I think we also provide information to, with some articles maybe, that we provide information that we do this. Our lender is the applicant on the application. So we really, when we do outreach, we go and do outreach with the lenders. But we do get phone calls from borrowers too.
Okay, so, and now your record on collecting is very good too, is it not?
Yes, it is. We have no delinquencies in New Mexico.
Okay, if I was, let's say I decided I wanted to open a business somewhere here in eastern New Mexico, maybe down in Jal or someplace,
Yes.
one of the small towns in this area. What would I have to do first? What kind of information do you want about me?
The information I want about you is we need a description of the project.
Okay.
We need to know what the project is going to be about, you know, what they're looking for, and then if they need a lender, we provide a lender list to them. We provide them with the list of lenders who have possibly already done B&I loans before, or even lenders who are interested in the program and want to do a B&I program. So we provide them with that information. We also provide them with information on the program requirements. But you know, a lot of the requirements are requirements that the lender's going to require anyway, like a credit report and financial statements. So, so we provide them with that information. We provide them with the lender information also. And they touch base with the lender, and then we have in the past even had conference calls, so we'll have calls with the lender and the borrower to discuss the project a little bit further.
Let me ask you, have you ever had a city contact you and say, we've got a vacant building here, can you find somebody that would like to, you know, make an investment in our town?
Yes.
Does that happen?
Yeah, that happens. And we try, and when that happens, we'll discuss all the programs that we have in our business programs. We do want to help them as much as possible. We're interested in all the projects that come to us. Yes, we will give them information.
Very good, very good.
Yes.
And also, for instance, here in Portales, the person who is going to be building and working on the project and completing the project to pay back all these loans and things is not from Portales. Sometimes in a town of only 15, 16, 17,000 people, you don't have a whole lot of people with spare cash to make investments like that. Do people actually approach you and say, got a place I'd like, you know, I've got some money I'd like to invest. Do you have a place that you'd like to suggest for me?
Yes, we can have those kind of discussions. We even talk about maybe if they're looking for, let's say, equity in their project. There is the new markets tax credits. We talk about that. We talk about, you know, any other sources that we know that can help the project happen. For example, the state of New Mexico has some grant money also for any manufacturing companies that want to, they may have some operation needs for a manufacturing company and they have some grant monies. In fact, we worked on a project like that in one of the communities where they wanted a brewery in that community, and the state came in with some what they call LEDA grant money, and then we ended up doing the energy efficiency grant also, and then the BNI guaranteed loan program. So that's what we try and do, is we try and get as many partners that we can into the project. If there's, you know, if there's some leveraging funds needed in the project, we do try and think outside the box to see who are all the partners that we can get into the project.
Well, I just want to say, as a citizen of this town, we're very happy that, that they are rebuilding the hotel.
We're excited.
It'll be called the Best Western Plus of Portales, and we think that's a great thing. And we thank you for your help in that project. Let's talk about the building, the actual building of this. I mentioned 14 jobs. That's how many people will work there, but there'll be lots more jobs than that, or have been already, lots more jobs than that, as this place has been restructured. I like the way it looks, by the way, now. It's changed completely in the last 8 months, and it looks really nice on the outside, and I'm looking forward to seeing the inside. There were lots of construction jobs too, right?
Yes, there was. Yes, it takes a lot of people, and we're really excited about the project also.
Okay, good. Carlos, you're helping with the heating. They're going to have, because it's a hotel, they're going to have a pretty good sized laundry. You're helping with a lot of things, but your main purpose is to save energy.
Correct. So part of the project included energy efficiency. So that means they're taking out windows that are outdated, HVAC system that's outdated. So with this program, we're allowed to utilize the program to install those new energy efficiencies, including washer and dryers for the laundry that would be happening there at the facility. Lighting, they're going to change anything out from the halogen to LED. So that really helps the borrower in the long run, because with the two combined programs, that monthly payment is going to be a lot less than it would have been if it was just strictly done on the BNI side of it.
Very good. Well, let's tell people what is the cost of all of the kind of work that you're overseeing, that you're helping them do. What's the cost going to be, and then let's talk about savings after that.
I believe in this particular project that the cost that we have lent out to this was going to be about $600,000 in the project. I think the energy saving of this could energize probably 43 homes, I believe.
Wow!
I mean that's a big efficiency for the community, and so that's how that structure looks like.
And when you save down those monthly bills,
Yes.
it makes it easier to make that payment to the bank.
Correct. Yes, it does. So it benefits the borrower in this aspect, but also benefits the bank, because it all allows them to. They have a CRA that they have to keep in line with, which is the Community Reinvestment Act. So it helps them meet that goal, and plus reduces the risk on their end as well with the guarantee that's on both those programs.
And in this project, the lender and the borrower, they worked with the contractor to work on the cost breakdown. So,
Correct,
when doing the cost breakdown, they knew which ones were related to the energy efficiency costs.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Let me ask you, what is your background, and what sorts of things have you studied to be an expert in this?
So I came available in this position, I guess, in July. So I'm fairly new to the program, but been involved with rural development since 2009, working in the community facilities programs, which is Art mentioned earlier, in our community facilities and water and waste programs. I have a background in mortgage lending, and so seeing how people benefit from refinancing, seeing how they benefit from ownership, that type of thing helps me to understand, what is going to be the benefit for the end user. And so some training that I've gone through in the last couple of months allows me to, it shows me how to see how the program does benefit the individual and the cost-saving measures. And so when I see some of the technical write-ups that come in for solar applications or the energy efficiencies that come through, I do see how, you know, we're taking this project and reducing it down to usage that's going to benefit, you know, that end user for the monthly bill.
Very good. Hey, let's talk about windows, because windows are very important. I remember going through a time, we've been, in the United States, we've talked about this for more than 40 years now.
Yeah.
And for a time, they would build school buildings, and I always thought it was kind of, and they wouldn't put any windows. Started building these little bitty windows in the schools, but they can build windows now that we can look at, enjoy the
Right.
view, let the light into the room, those sorts of things
Yes.
that are very efficient in terms of not allowing cold or heat
Correct,
into the
yeah.
building.
And it really, you know, like you're saying, there's aluminum applications now. There could even still be aluminum applications, but more primarily vinyl application or wood install. And you're talking triple plane type windows that are installed, and really not just the window, but really how they're installed in the facility can reduce the cost of energy that's being utilized. So.
Very good.
Yeah.
We here at the university have just recently changed out all of our fluorescent lights for LEDs.
Right.
And that'll make quite a difference too.
It
won't
does, yeah.
for them?
We've seen where projects are getting rid of the halogen lamps out in the parking lots, and some of the security lights, and taking them down to LEDs, and they definitely see a change in cost in operating that.
Yeah,
facility.
and the percentage of saving is just amazing.
It
isn't
is, yes,
On
yeah.
something like that. Yeah, that's very good. I have to ask about ventilation, because you put on all the paper that you send out that you help them with ventilation as well. A lot of people don't realize that it's good to have air move through a building.
Correct, yes.
And have it the right temperature when it moves through, of course, the rooms of the
Through the
people that are
building.
staying there.
Exactly.
What sorts of things do you do to control that?
Well, typically I would say that the contractor already has in place what type of unit they're going to put in. So whether it's the heating or the cooling, they have specific requirements that they're going to utilize for that particular unit, so that you have natural airflow that's going to help with the natural air coming into a facility, but also to make sure that unit's going to operate efficiently. Otherwise, if you don't have a return air, for instance, that's not located in a central area, then that unit's going to work a lot harder to produce the heat or the cooling, and then cost you to spend more money on that. So,
Yeah.
so really, when it comes to us, we're really we're going to kind of really depend on the contractor and that engineer that they've gone through all the specs to make sure that building, whatever they're going to do, that it's going to meet the specs for that building.
So in other words, your grant that you're giving these people, and a grant doesn't have to be paid back, but your grant is to encourage them to do a very good job of planning.
It is, but also that the grant, the borrower still has to come to the table with their own monies to the project. So 75% of that project cost comes in play, yes.
All right, very good. Now, can you tell me, Pat, do you know of some other projects? Are there other projects that are going on around the state at this time?
Actually, under the B&I program, yes. We also are working with other renewable energy and energy efficiency projects. I had mentioned the project in regarding the brewery. That was one project.
Yeah.
We've also actually did a B&I program on a custom hat business. And they did these amazing cowboy hats. And that was in the southern part of the state. We also have done some, I'm trying to think.
Well, we've got quite a few other inquiries now currently in play.
Yes. Oh,
that do require both the BNI and the REAP program, which will allow for kind of the same aspects that we're looking at. We're
The
trying
health
to cut
center?
the cost. Yes. For the health center
a
as
health
well?
center. We also did a B&I loan for a hospital
So
in McKinley County.
Yeah.
Yes.
health,
Yes.
manufacturing,
Manufacturing.
Healthcare.
host.
Hotel industry, we just talked about.
Very
yes.
good, very good. Well, okay, are there funds available if there are people out there that watch this show and get in touch with you and say, hey, I want a guaranteed loan?
Yes,
Are we ready
we
for that?
are taking applications. We are open for business. We are taking applications. Please call us.
And you have offices not only in Albuquerque, but,
Yes, we have an office in Roswell,
okay,
and we have an office in Las Cruces,
very good,
For this area. And
Yes.
then also in Aztec, New Mexico.
in Aztec, New Mexico.
very good. Okay. Are you involved, do you have anybody working from the chili business yet? Whenever we talk about New Mexico, I was like,
Actually, we have. We've done a B&I loan for a chili processing plant in the southern part of the state, yes.
very good,
Yes.
very good. Those
Yeah, we
cowboys won't have to eat any more of that stuff from New York City.
Right,
They're on that
right. We're
ad
happy to have that
television.
chili, yes.
Well, listen, it's been wonderful to have both of you on the show, and keep us up to date. We want to hear more about housing and other things that are going on at your operation. I want to say this one more time. I've said this before about the USDA rural development. You folks work hard, and we appreciate that. Sometimes you hear about federal government jobs that, or you can't get in to talk to anybody. Go try to speak to the income tax people. But you all are very nice about that, and we are happy to have you in the state.
Thank
We're
you.
good. We're glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time.
Okay, well, now that you know about this, if you have some cash sitting around and you want to go into a business, get in touch with these folks, and they'll help you put in a new business, make a big investment in a city in New Mexico that has a population under 50,000. It is a good investment. Take my word for it. Thank you for watching.